What's up, guys? It's your boy King Beam, and yeah, the Kenobi video's here. Time for me to rant. Now before this video starts, I just want to say that in no way do I want to attack any of the people who made the show, other than the writers, for not writing correctly. But there's a whole thing going around where people were being racist towards Moses Ingram, and that's wrong. I mean, if you don't like a show and you don't like an actress, it's okay to not like things, but please don't go out on the internet and be racist towards people ever. That's wrong. Okay. All right. With all that out the way, before I rant about the Kenobi show, I do want to outline some of the things that I loved about the show. I loved the beginning of episode 1, where we saw Kenobi and his life was the same every single day. You can tell he was depressed, and he was still like holding some PTSD towards the events that transpired in Revenge of the Sith. And he was sad and lonely, and like every day was the same for him. And I love that. I thought we were going to get more of that, but we didn't. The other thing I loved was Vader. Anytime Vader was on screen, something cool was going to happen, especially that fight he had with Reva. That was great. He clapped her in Vader style. Didn't even use his own lightsaber because he's just that petty. Okay. Yeah, with that's about it. I don't even know where to start. The writing in the show was absolutely terrible, and there were a lot of plot holes and inconsistencies, and they messed up the canon for future Star Wars entries, and I don't know why they did this. They hired a guy who didn't even watch Star Wars once in his life, and then they had to bring in a second writer to help the original writer because the original writer was confused about what he was writing. Typical Disney shenanigans. Let's see. On my script here, okay, I'm gonna start with Leia. Leia, I don't think that she should have been on the show, but she was cool for 2 episodes, in my opinion. When she first showed up, of course, we got the abysmal chase scene where fully grown adults can't catch up to a tiny child running on foot. That also happened in episode 2. Kenobi, a fully grown adult who also happens to be a Jedi, couldn't catch up to a small child on foot. It's pretty funny if you think about it. It's so hilarious. That was bad. And so, yeah, like I was saying, I liked her for the first couple of episodes she was in. I think she really helped Obi-Wan to see the world differently, and she had some really good commentary with Obi-Wan. But then her character arc kind of ended after, the first couple episodes, and then she got captured again, and they had to redo what they had just did again. And then in the last episode, she was episode 5, she was trying to do her droid, be an engineer and stuff, and it wasn't working, and it didn't make sense. And I just think that she should have been kept to half a season, helped out Obi-Wan come out of his shell and stop being so depressed, angry, senile old man all the time, and just help Obi-Wan in life. And I think it would have been better, because now she knows that his name is Obi-Wan, and so then the whole message she sends to Obi-Wan in A New Hope doesn't make sense, because she addressed him like she had never met him before, because that's her father's friend, and she never met Obi-Wan, or wasn't supposed to. I thought that she was just going to know that his name was Ben. So then when she called Obi-Wan, I guess it would make sense, because she wouldn't know Ben was actually Obi-Wan, but now she knows his name is Obi-Wan. So the A New Hope message to Obi-Wan doesn't make sense. Why is she so formal? She had a whole freaking 6-episode adventure with him. He saved her life multiple times. She would have remembered him when she got older, but apparently not, because Star Wars. Okay, Reva was pointless. She didn't need to be in the show either. She could have been a good addition to the show, I think, but the writers didn't really write her correctly, as we can see with the rest of the show. At the beginning of the first 2 episodes, I think that the actress was still trying to get in tune with the character, because the acting to me felt a little forced with the anger. But as the show went on, the acting got better, I do think. But I mean, it's just she was. I don't understand her character because she she shows up and she's an inquisitor, so her job is to go around killing younglings that have the Force so that they don't grow up and become Jedi. But then when she comes and she tries to kill Luke at the end of the finale, she sees herself as Anakin about to kill her friends, and she's like, no, I can't kill a child. But why didn't she think about that when she killed all the other children? What happened? And how does she survive twice? How did she survive twice from getting stabbed by a lightsaber? It doesn't make any sense. Once as a child. As a child, it doesn't make sense at all because, I mean, you can argue all day, oh, she had hatred. The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. No! She's a child! Literally, like, I've heard people bring up the argument, oh, Darth Maul survived, Vader survived. Darth Maul had been training for like 20-something years, almost died doing his training for almost 20-something years, got taken from a family he never knew to be raised by freaking Sheev Palpatine for 20-something years, trained his whole life to beat a Jedi, then finally, when he's in his first fight, he gets his legs chopped off and falls down a shaft. He has right to be pissed off and angry. Vader, his brother, his master, left him to die on some fire planet. His new master told him a lie that he could save his wife from dying, and she died. He has every right to be mad. Reva, what is she so angry about? Oh no, my friends died. But you're a child. You can't get that angry. But you know, it's okay. She survived. The second time, it makes absolutely zero sense how she's alive. Okay, because I can forgive you. Yes. Okay, let's say she survives. It makes sense. But here's the thing. When Maul survived, he needed to get cybernetic legs because, you know, half of his body got chopped off. When Vader survived, he had to get a whole full body suit to survive. I mean, even when Luke gets his arm cut off, he needs a new arm. When Anakin gets his arm cut off, he needs a new arm. But Reva, when she gets stabbed through the stomach, the blade goes through her body. It definitely like disintegrates her organs and her spine. She doesn't need any special robotics. She just gets up and ties a towel around her body, and she's fine. She gets stabbed through the stomach with a lightsaber that destroys your organs, and all she needs is a giant glorified bandage because she is a strong, independent woman, and she does not need cybernetics to survive a lightsaber wound. Next thing on the list that I have here on my script, there's absolutely zero stakes in the show. We know what's going to happen. I mean, Leia gets captured, but the whole time, I know she's going to end up all right because she shows up in A New Hope and she's just fine. When Reva is chasing down Luke trying to kill Luke, I know she's not going to kill Luke because obviously it's Luke Skywalker. He's not going to die. We know what's going to happen. So there's no stakes in the show. There's nothing to like get excited about. Even when Obi-Wan fought Vader, like, okay, it's gonna look cool, but we know that Vader's gonna lose because in A New Hope, he's like, oh, when I first left you, I was the learner. Now I am the master. So we know that Darth Vader's gonna lose. There's no stakes going on in the show. And so, because of that, the writing in the show is just abysmal. It's so laughably bad. Like, why? Disney just doesn't care about Star Wars at all. Like, I don't get it. Marvel is coming out with Loki and Moon Knight and Miss Marvel and WandaVision. The writing is so good in those shows. And then we get our Star Wars shows. Book of Boba Fett, mid. And the Book of Boba Fett was trash. Kenobi was mid at least. But the Book of Boba Fett was horrendous. Like, at least Kenobi got Kenobi right. In the Book of Boba Fett, they couldn't even get Boba Fett right. Because the writers don't know how to write the freaking show. Okay. I have some plot holes listed here that I would like to discuss. Oh yeah. So, alright, I talked about the Leia plot hole. Oh yeah, they used the same plot device for 2 episodes in a row. So in episode, what was it, 5, they can't get on the ship because whatever that dude's name is, he's like, oh, we need more time. And then later on in that same episode, we need more time. We get to episode 6, they're getting hunted down by a Star Destroyer. Why can't they get away? Oh, we need more time. Like, can you not come up with anything better than that? Did the writers just run out of ideas and they're like, they need more time? I guess so. A lot of Vader plot holes here. Okay, so why didn't Vader get out of his ship to chase Kenobi? Why did they send an entire Star Destroyer to chase down one ship? It doesn't make sense. Vader, they're on a Star Destroyer, right? And then Kenobi's like, oh, let me take this escape pod thing because if I go over here, then Vader will focus on me. But Vader's in a Star Destroyer, okay? A Star Destroyer has Imperial Star Cruisers. It also has TIE Fighters. So why didn't they send TIE Fighters after Kenobi? Or, just a fleet. They have a fleet of TIE Fighters. Why didn't they send TIE Fighters? Why did they leave I'm going to call them the Rebels. Why did they leave the Rebel ship to just go away on their own? Why did they turn an entire Star Destroyer to shoot at one tiny ship? And why couldn't they shoot down that one tiny ship with a giant Star Destroyer? Why didn't Vader just get out of the ship, get in his own personal TIE fighter because he is a pilot? Why didn't Vader get out of the ship and chase down Obi-Wan in his own ship and let the Star Destroyer kill the Rebels? It doesn't make sense. And yes, next one, like, they don't get Vader, okay? Like, maybe if you're not as big of a Star Wars fan as me, you'll like this show. But me, I've seen all 9 Skywalker Saga films at least 10 to 15 times. I've seen Clone Wars and Rebels at least 5 times each. I love Solo and Rogue One, and I read the comics and I read the books, and I bought my own lightsaber from Disney World. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I know a lot about Star Wars. And one thing I know tremendous knowledge about is Darth Vader. In canon comics and books, Darth Vader does not care this much about Obi-Wan. He does not care this much about Obi-Wan. Vader's #1 goal right now is trying to revive his dead wife. If there's anything that Vader wants more in this world, it's to bring Padme back to life. But no, in this show, he is head over heels for Obi-Wan Kenobi. The only thing he wants is to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. But Vader doesn't care that much about Obi-Wan. But, apparently now he does because Kenobi's canon. And so I feel like they really messed up Vader and made him, he didn't need to be this angry about Obi-Wan because it doesn't make sense. And the cool thing about Vader was that he was this unstoppable force, okay? Obi-Wan couldn't kill him. I mean, Luke couldn't kill him in episode 4. He's slaughtering rebels in Rogue One. Ahsoka couldn't beat him in Star Wars Rebels. Vader is after he gets his new Vader suit, Vader's supposed to be this unstoppable force of evil, this cool space samurai walking around slaughtering everyone in his path. But no, he gets trounced by rocks and defeated by Obi-Wan, and I think that just it takes away from his cool factor. And I just think that the writers didn't understand Darth Vader. Speaking about that Obi-Wan versus Vader fight, why did Obi-Wan just leave Vader lying there on the ground? So the reason that Obi-Wan didn't kill Anakin on Mustafar was that he couldn't bring himself to kill his brother. He couldn't kill him. That's Anakin Skywalker. In their fight, Vader tells him that Anakin is dead and that it's not Obi-Wan's fault that Anakin's dead. Darth Vader killed Obi-Wan. So then Obi-Wan gets closure and walks away. Why would he just walk away, leaving the galaxy's second most powerful Sith lying there on the ground to get up and go kill more people later? Why didn't he kill Vader? It doesn't make sense for him in the show to go off and just walk away. Now, I know that, of course, Vader has to survive, but if you think about it logically, in the context of the show, why would Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi Knight, not kill the Sith who's going to go out and kill more people if he just leaves him sitting there, lying in the sand? Obviously, he's not dead, so he's going to get up and kill more people. He poses a threat to Luke Skywalker, who is your main goal right now to protect. So why would he just leave him sitting there? I don't get it. I don't get it. Did I talk about all the Reva plot holes already? I think I did. Oh no, I didn't. I did explain how she's been killing kids and stuff. Anyway, she somehow, after she survives a lightsaber stab, she picks up, because Bail Organa sends Obi-Wan this message, and in this message, Reva hears 3 words, right? She hears Owen, child, and I think Tatooine or something like that. Somewhere along those 3 words she hears. So with Reva and her infinite knowledge of the universe, with those 3 words, she gathers that Luke Skywalker is Darth Vader's son and he's living with Owen Lars on Tatooine on a farm, because she heard boy, Tatooine, and Owen. I guess she's just big brain now because, she found that out. Another plot hole. So there's this, I wasn't going to talk about this because it's a big nitpick, but it needs to be brought to attention. So in episode 5, Obi-Wan is like, he wants to escape with Leia. And so then the dude, the little rebel leader dude, he's like, we only have one ship, we don't have enough ships for you to go off with Leia and to like escape. But we see that they had one big ship and they wasted that one big ship so that they could throw off Vader. Vader destroys that one big ship, then they go off in another big ship, and that big ship had a smaller ship inside of it that can go into hyperspace. So I thought you didn't have ships, but obviously you had 3. So why couldn't Kenobi just go escape with Leia in episode 5? Stop contradicting yourself, writers. Jeez. Obviously they had 3 ships, but no, the plot needs you to not have the ships so that Obi-Wan can fight Vader. Anyway, there were no ships on the planet, all right? Reva, she's dying right now because she just got stabbed in the stomach with a lightsaber, for crying out loud. But no, somehow she finds a way to get up, find a ship, escape from a Star Destroyer, and get to Tatooine in like 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes ago, she was groveling on the ground from a lightsaber wound, and then she just gets up, finds a ship, flies to Tatooine, and she's like, hey, we're gonna go, I gotta go kill Luke Skywalker. And I don't know why she wants to kill Luke Skywalker, but she's gonna go do it. And here's the thing, she goes and she finds out where Luke lives, right? And so then we get this whole thing where Owen is like, yo, Beru, we need to go, we need to get out of here. And then I mean, I love this scene because Beru, she's like, nah, we're gonna defend the house. She gets a gat out the freaking, I don't know, they have guns hiding somewhere. Beru's like, let's go, we gonna defend ourselves. But here's the thing I don't get. Beru says she'll be here at nightfall. Is Beru a Jedi now? How does she know that Reva's gonna be here at nightfall? I mean, and Reva does get there at nightfall because the plot demands it. But why did Reva wait till nightfall? If she really, before, we've seen throughout this whole show that she is very angry and very impatient. So if we go with the writing that has been written through this entire series, Reva would be so angry that she would go find out where Luke lives and go kill him right after she finds out where he lives. But no, for some reason, she decides to wait until nightfall. And I'm just like, there's no reason for you to be sneaking around. I mean, you don't need stealth. And even if they have guns, what are they going to do to you? You survived a lightsaber. You can get shot and survive. I mean, what's a blaster to a lightsaber to you? And it doesn't make sense. The writers, they steal all their ideas from previous projects. The whole episode 4 plot was stolen from Fallen Order. Everything that happens in Fallen Order happens in this show. Oh, we need to find a way to get into Fortress Inquisitorius. Let's swim in. Oh, we have to fight our way through the fortress. We're fighting our way through the fortress. And then Vader shows up. Vader shows up in Fallen Order. And there's this whole thing in Fallen Order where the glass broke and, you know, they had to contain the water. That happens in this episode too. Oh, another thing that happens in this episode. They hide Leia in this ridiculous costume. Like, and I've heard people say, oh, Star Wars has been goofy the entire time. Bro, literally, Leia's walking around, like, Obi-Wan has on an Imperial cloak, and then Leia is protruding out of it. You're walking through Fortress Inquisitorius, which is supposed to be the most heavily armed place that the Empire has, because they're hiding their big giant secret, which is Jedi, like, frozen in carbonite, in there. They're trying to hide that. And it's supposed to be the most heavily guarded place in the galaxy. So how in the world does this constitute some goofy little costume where Obi-Wan is hiding Leia in his little cloak and she's like, oh, you can't see me? It's so dumb. Oh, and another thing they stole. Vader, don't get me wrong, the Vader versus Obi-Wan fight, did it look cool? Yes. When the camera wasn't shaking. Before I talk about this next plot hole I'm about to talk about, or not a plot hole, but, you know, the writers stealing from other projects, the cinematography in the show is terrible. It's so bad. Why? Every time there is an action sequence, why is the camera shaking violently to the point that I cannot tell what's going on? Why is... Come on. I talked about this a couple videos ago in the Batman movie video. I was talking about how he did a great job, where the movie it's set in a dark place, but you can tell what's going on. And usually in Disney projects, they don't do that. And as we can see, Kenobi is another victim of low light. Why every time we're in the dark, I have to turn up my brightness max percentage because I can't tell what's going on because it's so dark, and then the camera is shaking so much that I can't even tell what's going on. So why am I turning up my brightness if I can't even see because the camera is shaking the whole time? It doesn't make any sort of sense. Anyway, back to what I was about to say before. They steal the whole Vader thing from Star Wars Rebels. If you put the sequences side by side, the same exact things happen in each show. Ahsoka runs up to Vader, chops his mask off. Obi-Wan runs up to Vader, chops his mask off. They say, oh my gosh, Obi-Wan. They both say that, and then guess what happens next? Anakin's voice is mixed with Darth Vader's voice in both instances. You cannot tell me that they didn't steal this idea and sequence an entire, like, they stole the entire thing from Star Wars Rebels, and you can't tell me they didn't, because obviously, if you look at it side by side, that's exactly what they did. And don't get me wrong, it was cool. It was very cool. It was amazing. But they stole it, and it wasn't original. Do something original, writers. And it's another nitpick, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, because... So Vader, he tosses down like 10 tons of rocks on top of Obi-Wan, but then Obi-Wan uses the power of friendship with Leia to, like, regain all of his force power that he had 10 years ago in an instant, and then he becomes, like, you guys joke around and say that he's Space Jesus? Yeah, he literally becomes Jesus and picks up, like, all the rocks on the planet and starts tossing them at Vader. But here's what happens when he tosses these giant boulders at Vader. They just bounce off of Vader like they're bubbles, you know? And then Vader gets right back up, and it's... Was the fight cool when I could tell what was going on? Yes. Does it make sense at all? No. It's dumb. Last thing that I want to address is the quality of this show. It's laughably bad. They had $25 million per episode. So why does the show look like a goofy fan film? It doesn't look like Star Wars at all. The CGI on the ships is dumb. I mean, And like I said earlier, if you're not the biggest Star Wars fan or like a freaking cinematography nerd like I am, you probably won't care. But if you can see these things, it's you're mad about it because it doesn't look like Star Wars. It looks like they're on a fake set with, CGI screens in California. The Boys season 3. It looks incredible. And they get like $10 million less per episode to make their show. And I mean, even Mandalorian, they get less money per episode. But their show looks like Star Wars. Where is all the money going in this show? Because it doesn't look good at all. Where's your $25 million going towards? Trash writing? Because obviously you don't know how to write Star Wars. And it's a shame. This was originally supposed to be a movie, but back in the day, Disney released a movie called The Last Jedi, and it divided the fan base. And a lot of people said that they were done with Star Wars after that movie. And then right after they released The Last Jedi, they decided to release the Solo movie. Now, the Solo movie is a 10 out of 10. It's very good, and it gets way too much hate. And you want to know why? Because no one knows it exists, because no one watched it, because it came out right after The Last Jedi, because people didn't like The Last Jedi, so they boycotted Solo. And then Kathleen Kennedy was like, oh no, people didn't watch Solo, let's not release a Kenobi movie. Disney, I feel like Disney just they don't care about Star Wars. They care more about getting money than making actual good stories and making actual good shows and making it look good. Because if Disney actually cared 1 ounce about actual Obi-Wan Kenobi, they wouldn't have released the show in the shape that it was. Because the trash writing combined with the trash cinematography and the bad color grading and the bad editing and the forced acting and everything going on, they wouldn't have released it because it's laughably bad. And I don't know. As a Star Wars fan, I don't know how people are enjoying this show because it's not good. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's a solid 6 out of 10 for me at least, because it does, like I said, it has some cool moments. Whenever that one time Vader was on screen, I never talked about this. In episode 3, Vader, he's mad at Obi-Wan. He starts fighting him, and Obi-Wan is getting flung around like a fly trying to escape a fly swatter when Vader's fighting him. And then Vader puts him inside of this fire in this really maniacal scene, and he's like, remember when you put me in lava? Let's put you in fire. And then the fire I don't know, erupts or something like that. And so then Vader just doesn't Obi-Wan's on the other side of the fire, and so then Vader just sits and watches as Obi-Wan gets taken away by some rebels. 1, Vader wants to kill Obi-Wan very bad in this show. 2, Vader's suit is fireproof. 3, Vader has stormtroopers that can shoot the rebels. 4, Vader could have walked around the fire. What does Vader do? Absolutely nothing. He sits there and watches as Obi-Wan gets taken away. It's just things like this that I don't understand how this show got released in the condition that it was, because it's not good. And if you enjoy the show, congratulations to you. But the show's not good at all. And I really hate to say it, because like I said, I love Star Wars, but I can't love this because it's not good. And I really wish that it was good, but it's not. And I hope that in the future, Disney takes more time out to make sure that their characters are fleshed out and their script makes sense and the editing is good. Why can't we get movie quality episodes if you have $25 million per episode? That's 25 times 6? I don't even know what that is, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of money. Let's do the math right now. 25 times 6, that's $150 million you have for the entirety of this series. Where did that money go? Well, that's about it. If you're still here, thank you. It's been 30 minutes. I've never made a video this long. I've never edited a video this long. I have to edit this whole entire video. That's so fun. Yeah, I do hope you guys, enjoyed the video. What's up? Future Beam here, sitting in the editor's chair. And guess what? We're not done yet. 1, why does the Inquisitor look like that? 2, why did the Inquisitor survive getting stabbed in the stomach just like Reva? I mean, they had to do it just because he survives in Rebels, but like, come on, bruh. 3, why didn't Kenobi kill Reva? 4, why was the music so terrible? The music in Star Wars is supposed to be a character in Star Wars. 5, why didn't Reva continue to use her, like, force, like, look into the mind technique that Kylo Ren uses? Because she uses it in episode 2. And then when she's interrogating Leia, she, like, forgets to know how to use it. It doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, I'm going to pass the mic on to my brother.
Kenobi. Alright, okay. So, the show isn't bad, but it's not the best. It could have been better. I do have to say, yes, the Kenobi could have been better. I feel like the execution was a smooth 6.5. I know there was some shenanigans in the beginning with who was going to do it and how it was going to be shot. Like, I know at first it was going to be a movie, and since Solo and The Last Jedi was something we won't speak of, they decided to, like, let's wait a little bit. And then they made it a show. I feel like that was good, because if they made it a movie, it would have been very weird, especially since it came out so far away from when the trilogy was with Luke and all that. I don't even know, like, where to start. Like, okay. First off, young Leia is such a perplexing character. In episode 1, I believe, we first are introduced to her because she gets kidnapped. And she can't really do anything about that. But the problem I have is that when she's running away from Obi-Wan because she thinks since he's being hunted, he's a bad person, she's running away. Like, why? I don't get it. It quite literally does not make sense. Like, he's shown in no way, shape, or form that he wanted to mean her harm, and yet she's running away. That's just part 1. Part 2 is the fact that when she was on the roof, and she was like, I can see that this is a big gap that I can't jump. And since I'm so scared of Obi-Wan, let me try to jump and then almost die. And then after that whole kerfuffle, she's like, well, Obi-Wan, I almost died because... No, that was her fault. That was your fault. But I gotta give props to my man's Velocicoaster bounty hunter. That man he's a dino. He's getting it done, bro. He was going crazy. That's all I gotta say. Another thing. That dude, what is his name? The guy from Eternals, who's also in this, that man's a goat. Like, but anyway, before I get off track, let me get back on focus. Okay. Kenobi's plot isn't, like, I know I say it's not bad, but it's not good. Like, I just keep having to go back to that because it's so far away from the trilogy that we were like, oh yeah, we already know Luke's parents are fine, Luke's fine, doesn't die, Reva doesn't kill them or whatever. We already know this. But it's just, I feel like the way they executed it, it could have been a lot better. Yeah, it's like, I just can't fully think of what would make it better, because anything I say would just be automatically criticized. But one thing I can say is Reva, she has the most complex character I've ever seen. I mean, you can't find anyone else who was stabbed by the Bananakin, the chosen one himself, the Youngling Slayer 9000, the one and only Bananakin Skywalker. We can never find anyone who's been killed, presumably killed by him when they were a youngling. Remember Revenge of the Sith, the whole youngling massacre of Coruscant? Yeah, somehow Reva survived, and Anakin just like watches her like he's perplexed. You guys can see it. He is perplexed as to how this child is alive, and she explains it, in of how she was fueled by rage, and I'm gonna put a stop right there, right? Because the only, and I may be wrong about this because I'm not looking at any notes right now, but the only other person who's been known to survive something like that was Maul. And that's because Maul had a reason to be mad. Like he went to kill a Jedi. That was his whole, he was trained for that. He was tortured by Palpamemes for years. So of course he's already mad. He kills Qui-Gon, the Liam Neeson, right? Kills him, and then Obi-Wan's like, hey bro, looks like there's a sale going on and you're half off. And just like shoves him down a tube after cutting his legs off. Like, he is the only one who should be that mad, to the point where he was able to survive. And he does, because then he gets robot legs. And his whole thing, and what pretty much drives him mad, is the fact that he's going around the galaxy looking for Obi-Wan. He wants revenge. He's that mad. He should be the only one who's been able to survive that. But no. Reva, she doesn't do it once, but twice. And the thing that's so baffling is that the second time she does it, she somehow has enough strength to not only not die, but to crawl over to a transmitter and somehow piece together from like 3 words that like Luke is Vader's kid or something, and then not only that, somehow make her way to Tatooine, which mind you is not close to where they are. Presumably, they're not close to Tatooine at all. She somehow gets to a ship, gets to Tatooine, and then has the energy to try to fight Beru and Owen, in which she almost literally got clapped by some farmers with guns. Like that's just sad. You're trained, I get you're injured, but the fact that they almost killed her, I mean, they were ready. They were not about to let Luke die. But she has the strength to defend herself against them, and then go chase Luke through some rocks with a hole in her side. And after she returns Luke, she just doesn't collapse. She's not incapacitated. I don't understand. Like that's what I said. Reva is the most complex character in the entire show. She's more complex than Kenobi himself, and he's literally space Jesus. Like it doesn't make sense. Obi-Wan doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is if Velocity Hunter is the best character in the show. I don't care what anybody says. That man didn't die. He didn't even die to Obi-Wan, bro, and he almost killed both of them. That man was going crazy. Those are just my thoughts. Obi-Wan's an interesting show, I guess. It's a smooth 6. Pushing 6.5, I don't know. It is what it is. But, you know, it's Disney. It's the mouse. What do you expect? They don't care about Star Wars. They only care about Marvel. And even that has some holes in it. But I'll catch y'all later.
If you do disagree with anything I said, prepare to be proven wrong in the comments section down below. Yeah. The Boys is a good show, and I will make a video on it next week because the season finale drops. Well, this video is going to drop on Friday, so, you know, the day this video drops, the season finale of The Boys will be out, so, you know, it's going to be good. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed my rant. I got to get all my feelings out. Finally, gonna put this on the YouTube. See if people watch it and hate it or love it. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a single video I'm putting out. We are uploading weekly, so you never have a lack of content. You know, you got a whole bunch of stuff to watch, so go watch it. All right. I love you. May the force be with you. Have a great day. Peace out.
Kenobi!